Good morning, everybody from the sunny Cayman Islands. It is Virginia here, as if you didn't know that since you're on my channel already. Anyway, I thought I would come on today and just chat to you a little bit about training as you age. I'm quite an observant individual and I'm always watching what people do, listening to what they say. And the biggest thing that I hear from people my age and younger than me too, let's just say the biggest thing that I hear from people is I hear about the pain in the body. I hear about them complaining. I don't know why it's all of a sudden gotten really noisy. Yay, there we go. Dog's barking as well. The one thing that I hear people talking about all the time is how they've injured themselves. I hear about knee injuries. I hear about shoulder injuries. I hear about back injuries. And it's coming from people as they're getting older. And they all start to say things like, oh, you know, I feel more pain as I'm getting older. I can't do this as I get older. Maybe I shouldn't do this anymore because I'm aging. And these are not people who are older than I am. 9 times out of 10, it's from people who are up to 10 years younger than me, even more than that, and people who are the same age as myself. I'm heading towards my 51st birthday at the moment, and I don't get injured. Now I'm going to touch wood whenever I say that. I'm certainly not prone to injury, and I certainly don't wake up day in, day out with pain in my body or injuries. And I think there's a number of things that I need to say with respect to these injuries. It sounds like there's a large construction truck driving up my normally very, very quiet road, just nicely to coincide with this video. So I'm talking about the injuries. So here's all the things that I can see. Number one, not exercising enough. So being fairly sporadic with the exercise. And I'll see that with people who'll say things like, I'll go for a run maybe twice a week, and then I'll go and do weights, or I'll train with a trainer 1 day a week. Well, I'm really sorry, but lifting weights 1 day a week, whilst it's better than absolutely nothing, is probably not the best thing that you can do for yourself. You need to be lifting weight all the time. And by that, I don't mean picking up 100-pound kettlebells or dumbbells or squatting massive amounts. I simply mean that you need to be picking up weight. This is just hysterical this morning. It's a good job I don't get fazed by these lives. I don't usually have construction trucks driving up and down my road, and I don't normally have my dogs running around the garden. Like, I'm just on here live talking to people and they're watching this, and it's a madhouse. That's my son just walking past too. Right, so you don't want to be picking up weights and lifting weights 1 day a week. If you're going to lift weights, lift some weight and do it on a regular basis, because your body is it's not going to adjust to lifting weights if you're just doing it once a week or once every 2 weeks. And in fact, you're probably more likely to get injured because you're not going to improve. Your body's just not going to improve. It might improve if you're a 13-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 25-year-old, but it's not going to improve if you're a 45-year-old, a 50-year-old, a 55-year-old, and you're going out there and you are lifting weight once a week. You should be lifting weight, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes every day. So get yourself a decent sized kettlebell and do 20 squats every morning. Do maybe 5 or 10 push-ups every morning. I lift weight just about every single day. And the great thing about it is that I improve. So I will lift heavy, maybe heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, heavy bench press. For example, I went into the gym yesterday and I was working all of my upper body, and I was really proud of the fact that I managed to bench press 120 pounds. I'm an almost 51-year-old woman. I am not an athlete. I'm a lawyer. Yes, I did have a gym. Yes, I have been in the army. Yes, I have been very, very fit, but I'm not an athlete. I don't spend my days training, but I was still able to bench press 120 pounds yesterday. I only weigh 130 pounds, so I'm virtually bench pressing my own body weight at my age. The intention is, over the course of the next 6 to 8 weeks, that I go past my own body weight. So I want to get back to lifting in the bench press about 140 to 145 pounds, because that was something that I was able to do not all that long ago. So as you're getting older and you're finding that you're getting pain, look at the way that you're training and ask yourself, is this a sensible way to train? Should I be lifting weight once a week and then not doing any other weight bearing work whatsoever? And weight bearing means also body weight. So I'm always saying to people, don't go squatting and then lifting over your head a weight if you can't even lift your own body weight up off the ground. So you need to be able to squat properly. You need to be able to sit back into that squat, keeping your heels down on the ground. When you're lifting weight, you need to be able to do a push-up. You need to be able to do a pull-up. If you can't do a push-up and you can't do a pull-up, then don't even think about going out there and picking up heavy dumbbells or heavy bars and trying to push those up above your head or up above your chest, because the only thing that you're going to do is engage your back. Because I can guarantee you, if you are struggling to do a push-up or a pull-up or a full squat, your core strength is weak. And if your core strength is weak, you're not properly engaging your pelvic muscles, you're not properly holding in your core, and consequently, you're going to go right into your back. So you're going to end up with back issues. So go out there and practice your push-ups, practice your squats, practice your pull-ups. If you think you can't do a pull-up, use a band to help you get out there. Hang off a bar, hang off the branches of a tree. Do anything that involves you engaging your actual body weight, and do that before you go picking up the weights. The other thing that I see people doing is going for runs and not running properly in the correct form. My running form is absolutely rubbish. It always has been. Even in my days in the military, I still found it really hard to run. I was never the fast runner unless I was sprinting. And the other runs, if I was going at a distance, then I was always a bit of a plodder. As I've gotten older, I find it uncomfortable. I find it uncomfortable in my back. I find it uncomfortable in my knees. I'm not going to push through that. And I think that's what a lot of people do as they get older as well. They decide to push through the pain because they knew that they could do it when they were younger. I didn't need to push through the pain when I was younger. The pain wasn't there. It was just uncomfortable. Now, as I've gotten older, the pain is definitely there. I can feel it when I run. So I'm not about to do that to myself. I'm not about to put myself into the situation where I actually put my body into a place of feeling pain just for the purposes of getting fit, because there's so many other ways that you can get fit. So I don't run. I do some sprints as part of my interval training when I do interval training, because short distance sprinting works really well for me and it doesn't cause me any pain. So for my cardio, I use an exercise bike because the exercise bike doesn't cause me any pain in my body. You will notice as you get older that the discs in your back, well, you won't notice this, but you may notice pain in your lower back. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons that that happens. As you get older, your discs in your back start to dry up. Now, that doesn't mean that they're always dried up. It just means that you need to lubricate your body more. By lubricating your body more, you need to drink more and more water. And that's something that so many of us don't do. So you're getting up in the morning, and if you're heading out the door and you haven't drunk enough water and you're heading straight into exercise without stretching, without properly warming up, you're going right into that back again. And think about the other thing as you're getting older. Your bone density changes, your muscle mass changes, and I talk about this all the time. You can take yourself and measure yourself when you get out of bed in the morning, then do a really good stretch and measure yourself again, and you will find that there is a difference in your height. Your body is concertinaing, going into a concertinaing as you get older. So everything is beginning to squeeze together, and you have to stretch it all back out again. You stretch it out again by lubricating your body, by drinking plenty of water, and by stretching it all out. So if you're getting up in the morning and you're a really busy person and you're aging as well, and think about it, so many of us in that, they call us the sandwich generation, those of us in that 40 to 50 age group. I think they call us the sandwich generation because we're stuck in that position where we're not only looking after our children, but we're also looking after aging parents, or being conscious of the fact and stressing about aging parents as well. So we're stuck right in the middle. So as well as the pressures of work, we've also got the pressures of the children. We've also got the pressures of the older people as well, knowing that at some point in time, we might need to financially support everybody. So you're stuck in that really stressful place. We're working hard. Most of us don't have a great big pile of cash in the bank. We have to be respectful. Yep, I totally agree. You've got someone commenting. It's Shelley. Hey, Shelley, lovely to see you here. I miss you. I miss training at the gym. So yeah, we need to be conscious of the fact that we're working really hard. We've got all of those stressors. So if you're going to get up in the morning and you're going to head straight into some silly exercises like immediately lifting weight without warming up your body and stretching out your body, you're going to cause it pain, especially if you are in that situation where your discs are tight and you're not respecting that body. So as Shelley says there, we have to be respectful of what our bodies can and cannot do as we get older. I kind of think, Shelley, that we can still do just about everything. And I'm going to prove that. I mean, I know I'm only heading to my 51st birthday at the moment, but I'm planning to keep going. But I'm planning to keep going, doing it all in the sensible way. So I've changed up the way that I work out. When I get up in the morning, the first thing that I'll do is I will drink down a large glass of water. I've switched up to, I don't lift weights in the morning now. I used to lift weights in the morning when I was a little bit younger. I lift my weights in the afternoon now, so around about 2 to 3 o'clock, which is one of the benefits of working for yourself. You've got that ability to schedule it in. But saying that, when I was working for someone else as a lawyer, my lunch period was sacrosanct. I would take that lunch period and I would go to the gym and I would lift my weights then. So I lift my weights later on in the day when my body has been up and it's been moving around and I've had the chance to have something to eat and I've lubricated my body by drinking plenty of water. In the mornings, what I do now is I stretch and I do my cardio. So I have my trusty bike at home now. And I'll get in anything from 8 miles to 15 miles, depending on how much time I have scheduled in that day. So not how I'm feeling, although sometimes I will get on with the intention of doing, say, a 15-minute ride. But then in my mind think I'm a little bit tired, I've had a hard day the day before, or I've got this to do. So I might go into it saying, right, I'm scheduled for 45 minutes, but I'm going to finish after 30 minutes. And I don't give myself a hard time if I decide to finish after those 30 minutes. And sometimes I'll go into it and I'll just decide to do the whole thing. So I'm kind of judging how I feel mentally at that stage. But I've stopped giving myself a hard time if I don't finish it. But that's how I've switched it up. In the mornings, I get my cardio in, I get my water in, I stretch my body out, and I'm really, really careful to make sure that my back is elongated, that my shoulders are brought back, that I'm twisting my ankles. I don't mean twisting them, I'm circling my ankles to loosen off my ankles, loosening off all of my joints. I'll do my push-ups in the morning. Push-ups are a huge one for me because of the upper body strength and also the wrist strength, because that is definitely something that I notice for people as they're aging as well. And I think it's a lot to do with the fact that we spend so much time nowadays in front of a laptop or a computer, twiddling like this, not going into our wrists, but staying in the fingers. We're not properly stretching out our hands either. So I like to get into that push-up position. I like to open up my hands. I like to move my wrists around about a bit as well. So my advice to you, if you're training as you age, stop telling yourself stories that you're getting old and you can't do stuff anymore. You absolutely can still do it. And so far, I am 100% of the opinion that I'm still doing what I was doing before. I'm just changing it all up now to work with my body, to work with how my body feels. I'm conscious of the fact that I'm not, I think it's recovery. I don't recover as quickly as I did. I find that I do sometimes get a little bit more tired. For women, if you're perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal, any of that, you'll also find that you're probably that little bit more tired than you were in the past too. So I'll keep sharing what I'm doing, but at the moment, I'm still lifting heavy. 120 pound bench press, which made me very happy. I'd like to think within the next 2 months, I will be back up at my 140 to 145 pounds. That's certainly the goal. I don't lift heavy every single day. I probably lift heavy on one part of the body each day. So one day I'll squat. Hi, Claire, how are you? One day I'll squat, one day I'll do the bench, one day I'll do the shoulder press, one day I will do heavy on my deadlifts. And then, and I don't do much of it. So yesterday, as an example, when I was doing the bench press, I started off with 2 sets of 10. I went down to 2 sets of 8. I went down to 2 sets of 6. And then that last one at the 120 pounds was just for 4. And that's a really good way there of helping you build as well. So the next time I go in, I'll add on another £5 on each side, so £10 overall to each one of those as I'm going through it. Yep, Shelley's just saying just how we can still crush our workouts, but we have to be wiser. Absolutely, we need to be wiser. And that's not giving in, and it's not being weak. It's just recognising where the body's at. It's loving yourself, respecting your body, respecting yourself, not making excuses and saying that you can't still do things. You can do anything you want to do. You just have to be sensible, and don't go in there and compare yourself to the 20-year-olds. You know, I see plenty of, I have to walk around in the gym like this. So I'm a trainer as well. From the days that I had the gym, I have to walk around doing that because I can see all these youngsters. I want to jump in and tell them that they need to change their form, but I'm quite sure they wouldn't take that too kindly. I do sometimes offer it, and sometimes I'm asked by the youngsters who maybe know one of my own children, and I'll always be only too happy to come in and help. I might have found, oh, you want to come and live here, Claire? I know it's nice, isn't it? It's a small island, but it's a very beautiful island, and I still miss my home of Scotland, but that's, well, my home, that's so not true. Scotland is not my home. This is definitely my home. Scotland's my second home now. But yeah, it's a nice place to live. So training as you age, as I said, respect your body, listen to what your body's telling you. Don't be silly. Don't try and compete with the 20-year-olds because they're not always getting it right either. Keep lifting weight. Don't tell yourself that just because you're getting older, you can't still shift the weight. You can shift the weight. You just have to shift the weight sensibly. And don't go doing any silly workouts because it's just not worth the pain at the end of the day. Nobody wants any injuries. Tell me what you like about the island. What do I like about living here? Gosh, tell me what you like about, what do I like about living here? I like the weather. I like the weather. I like the place. I like the people. It's my home. It's difficult to tell. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy when I get off the plane. So if I go away somewhere and I get off the plane and I come back, I feel warm and fuzzy. I think that's probably sums up what I like about it. I feel at home. I feel happy. I feel contented. My family are here. It's a beautiful island. There's not tons and tons to do, but there's nothing nicer than coming home and just being here. That's not really a very good explanation of what I like about the island. Warm and fuzzy, I think, sums it up, Claire. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy. There we go. I think that will do me for today. We are almost at 20 minutes and it feels like home. Yeah, definitely feels like home. And Scotland doesn't feel that way now. So when I get off that plane and I head into Glasgow to go back to where I used to live and go back to see my dad, stepping into my dad's home feels like home because it's where I grew up. But as I wander round about Scotland, it doesn't feel like home anymore. It feels like I'm visiting, and I don't get that. I get a familiar feeling, but I don't get the warm and fuzzy feeling that I get when I step off the plane here. Anyway, we need to chat. We need to catch up and have a call sometime so I can see you face to face and hear your voice, and we can just get to know each other a little bit better. So I am going to head off. I'm going to apologise for all the background noise today. It is not normally so noisy here, but there is a gardener out with one of those blowers. Now, there's one thing I don't like about Cayman. Most people here have gardeners, and the gardeners have a fascination with using those blowers, and they will go out there with the blower. You can hear the engine in the background and the motor for it in the background, and they will blow leaves from one garden to another, from a garden onto the road, and blowing it onto the road is the best one, because there you will be driving in your car. You can see this gardener blowing all the leaves into the road, and you know that you're going to drive through them and you're going to scatter them absolutely everywhere. So yeah, gardeners and their motors. So you've had motors this morning. You have had someone banging somewhere with a hammer. You have had a big truck, sounded like a construction truck, on what is normally a very quiet road and a very quiet garden. So it was sent to test me today. We're now at 22 minutes and I'm definitely going to go. So I've actually got a whole load of work to do. I know I'm still in my gym kit because I'm just off my bike, but I have a whole load of work that I have to sit down and get done at my desk. So I need to go and get changed, put on some proper clothes and sit down and get my work done. Thank you everyone for tuning in as I was chatting away about training as you age. I will always be sharing my tips on training as you age and where I'm at in my own self. It's very much part of my life and what I love to do. I wouldn't be who I was without my daily workouts. So thank you again for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. Absolutely no idea what I'm going to be talking about, but it will no doubt be something. See you. Bye-bye. Bye.